This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Dean Jean. Dean Jean. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Hello, America, and welcome to the #1 radio station in all of Fort Myers Beach. Beach Talk Radio. Here are your hosts, Kim and Ed Ryan.
And a good Monday evening, everybody, and welcome to episode number 42. We're back with Mondays with the mayor. And before we get to Dan, the mayor of Fort Myers Beach, we do have some news we want to share with you that we kind of been holding on to until tonight, and we're going to share it all with everybody right now. As of, is it okay if we do it now? Are you going to get up to the microphone here? Starting Saturday, December the 9th, we are moving our Saturday show to Margaritaville, and that show will be back up to 10 o'clock. And I want to show you all real quick a picture of where we will be hosting the show on Saturday. Right there is the License to Chill Bar and Grill on the Sunset Terrace. And well, I can't use the mouse to show you where it is, but the tables will be set up for the show with the backdrop of the Gulf of Mexico for the people that watch the show on Facebook and YouTube. And as you can see, there's plenty of seating and plenty of bar seating. And that starts on December the 9th. Breakfast at the License to Chill Bar is served at 7 o'clock. The bar opens for drinks at 9 o'clock. And of course, that area is going to be completely open to the public. So that starts at 10 o'clock on December the 9th, which is about a month away.
Yeah, you and I had to negotiate a start time because you wanted to.
I wanted it to be back at 9.
You wanted to pull it back to 9, but I said no, 10 o'clock is better.
The second announcement is the Mondays. Yeah, right. The second announcement is the Mondays with the Mayor show will become Sunday Brunch with the Mayor, and that will be at Wahoo Willie's. So we are going to stay at Wahoo Willie's for our Sunday show. The Monday show will be moved to Sunday, and we appreciate the mayor agreeing to the show on Sunday, so you can come out and have some brunch at Wahoo Willie's. I know they're talking about having a breakfast at Wahoo Willie's on a permanent basis, so that'll be cool. So we'll have like we do now, but they'll just be Saturday at 10 and Sunday at 11, and everybody gets their Mondays to do whatever the hell they want to do, including the mayor. What's going on, Dan? How are you?
Just chugging along, another long day.
Yeah. Well, your meeting today, the town council meeting, was not that long. It was no, it was one of the shorter ones, which was nice. Got a lot done.
Yeah, it went much quicker than we were hoping. We were shooting for 10:30, but we came up a little short. But
yeah, sometimes one person rambles on a little bit, but it's going to happen, right?
I'll have a tendency to talk sometimes, and
I didn't mean you.
It was. I'm guilty of it as much as anybody else.
Let me just say that I did see you. It might have been a misunderstanding. I did see you on Sunday. And once I got past you, I said to everybody, oh, that was the mayor. But unlike the person sitting over here, when I'm out on the bike ride, I try to respect as much as possible people's privacy. So unless they kind of wave to me or they kind of look at me like it's going to be okay to turn the camera on them, I try not to interrupt their Sunday. And so I didn't know the folks that you were talking to, and I didn't want to just throw a camera in their face. But, if you give me the thumbs up, the camera's swinging over there.
Yeah, you said as you were going by, I mean, you were moving along at a pretty good clip. You said if you wave, that gives me the permission to put you on the camera. And that's why I thought she probably didn't even know who we were. She was going by so fast.
Somebody else said that a couple last week. They're like, it looks like you're flying. I'm like, really? I think, I'm getting in better shape now from doing it. So maybe that. Plus, the wind was a little bit formidable on Sunday. So it was a little bit.
Said you were probably just afraid of trucks now.
Yeah. I didn't know when you sent me the text saying you don't think she saw you. I didn't know you weren't in your truck. I just assumed you're in your truck, and and then I said, yeah, she's a little truck shy right now. After that, that last
They were a couple from Minnesota. I was they had rented a golf cart for the weekend. I was just
Nice.
picking up the golf carts. And
cool. All right, so we got kind of like 2 weeks of stuff to kind of throw at you. But the first thing I wanted you to kind of detail for the folks that are watching is Andy brought up the Jacobs group today, which is the new group that you guys are working with to help with the permitting stuff like that. So, what do you think the residents are going to see in terms of changes, and how it will help compared to what was going on up to this point?
well, the goal is to bring, as Andy said, have everything come in house so that they're still contractors, but they're going to be people that are actually in the building, as opposed to having to send emails or try to get a hold of somebody that's on the other coast. So hopefully that'll expedite the process. I think you heard me say in the meeting today, it's important that we look at the entire process and they really drill down on what the issues are, what the holdups are, what we can do on our end to correct some of the things that are causing just stupid holdups that you see. And like I said in the meeting, the storm has really thrust a lot of things into the limelight that never were talked about or never even worried about because they never had to be to put into place. So we're working through them. When we hear them, we try to address them right away, and hopefully they correct the mistakes and we don't go backwards.
Why do you think this group's going to be any different or better than the one on the West Coast or the East Coast?
They also do the permitting for Bonita Springs. Everyone I've talked to over there that's on the council, talked to their town manager. They're very pleased with their service, how they get things out. They respond very quickly. So we've been talking with them for quite a while, actually right after the storm, pretty much. So it's nice that it's finally been signed, sealed, and they're willing and they're scalable. So if we need something, they can bring in more people. Depending on the workload, we can bring people in, we could take people out. So hopefully it'll start to see some major changes.
Now, have you been getting any feedback from residents about how things are going, or have the emails kind of died off? I mean, like we mentioned last time, I think we are seeing a little more construction than we had been a few months ago. It does seem like things are being built. We got businesses opening. So, I mean, there's a lot of excitement on the beach right now. This coming weekend, there's so much going on, which is great to see with season kicking in too.
Yeah, I haven't really received a lot of emails. I have received some good positive emails about things that went really smooth. I think people are starting to understand, if you have questions, go in and meet with the staff, spend an hour or so to meet with them and make sure you have everything that you need before you submit the permit, if you're able to do it or your contractor is able to do it. It can save you a lot of work down the line, or a lot of rejection letters if you know that you have everything in place. But for the most part, the contractors that have been down here for a long time and working a long time, they're making it through the process pretty smooth. There are some hiccups here and there on little things that are being asked for now that maybe weren't asked for before the storm, but work through those and continue moving forward.
How's the volume of permits been? Is it been this kind of a steady flow, or has it kind of taken a little bit of a decrease?
That's a good question, Kim. I haven't asked probably in a week or so to see if we're seeing more or seeing less. It's stayed pretty steady so far. I mean, now that we're kind of coming into the holidays, maybe we'll see a little bit less. It would be my guess, but people are, all the debris out of the way and people got their plans drawn up, and you're starting to see the pilings go in the ground and houses being craned up on pilings, and people are moving forward. They're doing what they can to get back in their houses.
I just was going to ask, kind of on the sides to that the letters that have been going out, how's that going? Are you getting any more responses? Do you feel like you have a good handle on who's in what stage of the process?
Most part, I think we've heard back from the people who are going to reply back to.
Okay.
We're going to have to send out, another second set of letters and go through the painstaking process of making sure we're doing everything legally that we have to do before we can move it to the next phase of starting to do things that we really don't want to do, but we will do them. We're worried about safety issues. We're worried about health issues. People that are working hard to clean up their properties, it's your job to take care of your property. So we're going to go through the process that we have to go through to make sure that you're doing what your neighbors are doing.
Speaking of taking care of your property, CenturyLink came up during the meeting today, and You did your best to hold your temper, although I've never seen you get mad, but you seem like if you were going to get mad, it was going to be at CenturyLink today with those damn boxes everywhere that they still haven't touched. What's going on with them?
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to frustrate me. They're one of the only contractors that we've dealt with, at least since I've been involved over the last year, that, keep wanting things from us, want us to help them, want us to survey their stuff, help them get their income, replacement going so they can get these fiber things in. And we're asking a simple thing, put some fences up, do something to cover these boxes. Someone's going to get hurt, their eyesores. If they're not being used, take them out of there. To me, it's not too much to ask. And to keep hearing excuses, and we'll get to it. If it's up to me, they wouldn't get a damn permit until they get all this crap done. We shouldn't have to hear about something that could potentially cause someone some safety issues. And they're eyesores, they're safety issues, and there's enough excuses. I'm frustrated.
Yeah. I mean, I know you don't have the answer to this, or it doesn't seem like Andy has the answer to this either, although he's trying. You guys are trying. It's been over a year. Like, why can't they just cut them and put them in the back of a truck or something? They're not using them anymore. They won't be, they're going underground now. You guys are going to fiber optic, which will have nothing to do with those boxes, yet they haven't been touched.
Again, they've been going down the sides. They've been going down the side streets, putting in, the conduit and stuff for this fiber optics. And, I get a call from my wife. That's one of these guys is in our backyard. She works from home, and we've got cameras around the house. So this guy's just from one of these crews walking in our backyard, talking on his phone. We had to call Lee County Sheriff's Office. He didn't do anything wrong, but it's like, if you got time to walk around your phone in people's backyards, you got time to yank out some of these boxes. So yeah, it's a little craw in my hat.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pop this one up on the screen so you can see it.
I was just going to bring this up different. I was going to ask it differently, but yeah. What about the areas where there's no concrete on the sidewalks? When I was biking this Sunday, I noticed there was still a couple spots on the route that I was in.
The public safety, at our last public safety committee meeting, the committee was going to go around. They were going to take sections of the area. There's an app that we use that you can take pictures, and it gives you the coordinates of all the areas that have chipped concrete or missing concrete. They were going to get that data for us so that we could send it to the county, and then the county can send their crews out. So when we get all that information back from them, we'll send it to the county. And they've been really good about getting out and fixing things when we tell them something needs to be fixed, especially with concrete or Estero Boulevard. So I know there's a few spots that specifically that you're talking about that that need to be replaced, but we got to get them the information.
Just one last thing on Lee County, because it kind of did come up today at your meeting briefly. There have been a couple of complaints about the porta potties in Lynn Hall Park and not being cleaned. I mean, I went in one of them the other day and it didn't even have a seat on it. I mean, I don't sit down when I well, you know what I'm saying. Some people need it, some people don't, but I didn't. But I mean, it would just seem like those trailers are really nice. I mean, they keep them clean. They're air conditioned. There's always toilet paper in there. I mean, it's not the softest toilet paper, but it's toilet paper, and they're always clean. And every Saturday morning, the guy is in there cleaning it. And I know it's not a Lee County employee that would clean the porta potties, but do you really need them in Lynn Hall Park anymore with those other ones? I mean, they are becoming an eyesore too.
Well, I don't know that they'll put another trailer in there or not. I know that I talked to obviously Commissioner Sandelli, and I've talked to Commissioner Hammond about it, and they haven't really decided on what the plans are. They're waiting to get it obligated, I'm sure, from FEMA, like a lot of the other projects that we're waiting on. So I don't know. I did hear from Commissioner Sandelli today while we were in our meeting that they're going to be upping the cleaning schedule. He didn't give me the exact time, but he did get confirmation they were going to be upping the cleaning schedule on those as we're starting to, which is good. We're starting to see more and more people come down,
yep,
especially on the weekends. So we got to make sure that they have some facilities that are good enough to use.
Yeah, and the town used to have which were always clean. The town used to have a couple over by where not exactly, but by the poinsettia tree. But you guys must have ended a contract with them because they're gone.
They moved when the clock went up and the trees and stuff went up. They were actually moved. Lee gave us permission to put those couple that we had over in Lynn Hall Park along with theirs, and ours are no longer there. They have theirs, and then they have that trailer. We do have the trailer that will be coming back on Palm Avenue. So those, once that gets here, those porta potties will be going away.
Gotcha. Right.
All right. There was a lot of discussion about sand at the meeting today. So can you explain what's going on with beach renourishment and when it'll be seen down there?
Yeah, they're still trying to finish up the beach berm. Obviously, those were put on. There was two discussions that were happening today. One was for the beach berm. The other one, we haven't gotten all the final approvals yet for the beach renourishment. So trying to finish up, and that's what that shortage was talked about today for the beach berm project to be finished up. So once that's done, I believe Chad said January or February, they're hoping to be able to start the depending on permitting, the beach renourishment project.
Gotcha. And folks, always you can type your question in there. We'll pop it up on the screen. It's really mostly for you guys to ask the mayor anything you want to ask him, but go ahead.
Refresh my memory. The berm is not it doesn't run the entirety of the beach, correct?
No, anybody that didn't sign up for it did not get a berm.
Yep.
Because where did I go on the beach? I'll have to, if it comes to me later in the show, because I noticed because the wind was so crazy, that it just shears off that sand. And I usually, when I go onto the beach, I do recognize that I'm going over the berm, but wherever I was this weekend, I did not, it wasn't there.
You're
so
riding your bike on the beach?
No. I ride up to the beach and then I walk down onto the thing.
Yeah, Adalia had
Wipe some of that out.
Well, it didn't wipe it out. It just kind of leveled it out is what it did.
Yeah.
Instead of there being that big hump there, kind of made a gradual thing from the top of it out back towards the water. And some of the areas that didn't have a berm, that's where we saw the flooding on Estero Boulevard.
Yeah.
North of Estero Boulevard got the worst of it. Times Square got hit pretty good. There was a couple areas around the Jefferson Street area that got hit pretty good. Down by Sterling area, that there was a section there that got hit pretty good after Adalia. But for the most part, the berm did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, they were telling us at the Pink Shell on Saturday when we did the walk around there that their pool basically filled up with sand from Idalia from that storm over there. So they must not have had it over there either.
No, then they had to. I was talking to Bill Wachulis about it. They had to clean out the pumps again. They just finished doing all that, so they had to really scramble to get the pool back open for Labor Day weekend.
All right, so we're going to put Richard's question up on the screen, but Lori, I did announce it at the beginning of the show, but I'll recap it because at the end of the show, because we do have a lot more people that have tuned in since the first 5 minutes. So I'll go over it again at the end of the show. But Richard's question is, are you aware of any changes to the Florida Building Code that might impact the rebuild efforts late in the year 12/31? Anything new coming up?
Coming into effect December 31st.
I have not heard of anything specific. I could talk to our building officials and find out if they've heard something, but I have not heard from anyone that there's any major changes coming. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't any. I just have not heard of them.
Okay. All right. So can you,
if he has something specific, he can either ask it here or reach out to me at allersd@fmb.gov or fmbgov.com to ask, and I can get him an answer.
Cool. Okay. So, what's the update on the Estero Boulevard lighting? When does that start construction?
We still haven't been able to sign the contract. As soon as FDEM gets the money down to the county will release it to us. Then we can sign the contract to get started. So Andy was going to be checking on that here in the next day or so to see if we've gotten an update on receiving them funds. A little under the weather. Sorry.
Oh, you are?
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened? You got sick?
I don't know. Just later this afternoon, just felt a little.
Yeah. Too much work, man.
Out.
Yeah. Got to take a break.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff going around. Yeah. I can tell.
Do you have any update on the Terry Prasad case? That seemed like there was a lot of negotiation going on, even at the town council meetings, and then just kind of died.
No, I haven't had a chance to talk with Becky. She was out of town and driving back with her husband from up north, so I haven't had a chance, and I didn't get a chance to talk to her today. I had to get out of the meeting right after it was over, so I'm going to try to reach out to her this week and see if she's had any headway with the attorneys to see if that's going anywhere.
Okay.
Oh, When will Bay Oaks open?
Well, the goal, as we said today, to have the gymnasium open before the kids get back in school. That's the goal. So we're shooting for the end of the month. The pool, we're still working through that process to get obligations, and we're talking to contractors to get pricing. So still moving forward with the pool part of it. The baseball field, I think you heard Jeff say today that they're working with ICS to get that field. They gave them the elevations to get that field leveled for the softball field. So as soon as they can get going on that, they will. But the gymnasium itself, we're shooting for the end of this month before the kids get back at school on the, I believe it was the 5th, back and forth today between the 4th and the 5th, but somewhere around that time frame.
Yeah,
How much work needs to be done on the pool? Do you know?
It's been cleaned up, it's been mucked out, that kind of stuff's been done, but all the pool equipment was destroyed.
Oh.
The ladder is I mean the slide's got to come down. It's so rusted and it's in danger. So there's some major work that has to be done at the pool. It's going to be an expensive fix, but hopefully when we're able to get it back, we'll have something that everybody can be proud of.
You think they're going to put another slide in there?
Most people I've talked to really want to see it back there. They really liked it. You know, now that we got that entrance opened up there, it's going to be really nice to be able to really promote that area and get people that come to the island and give them something to do other than just, you know, sit on the beach. And that's a horrible thing, but kids don't always like to just sit on the beach all day. There's other things that they like to do. So our goal is to really heavily promote Bay Oaks, to use it at its fullest extent and try to bring people in and you know, hopefully generate some income with it.
And speaking of that area, the town hall trailer should be up soon on the Bay Oaks property, and you guys will be holding your meetings there, and it'll be an easier place for residents to access the staff and to, you know, get into whoever they want to see over there compared to the way it is now in all these different trailers. So what's the latest on that?
Yeah, I think Frankie said today we're trying to get, by the end of the month, try to have those trailers in place. And try to get them up and running by the end of the month so we can get moved over there. The trailer where Andy and myself and some of the HR staff, Amy Baker, that are in that forward, the trailer that's closest to Estero Boulevard, trying to condense that so the state can come in and take that down, and we'll move into the other trailers and be a little crowded for just a little bit. But we're trying to meet our goal to get off the fire department's property as soon as we can.
All right. And David's got a question about
they've been great. The fire district has been great with us, and you know, and said they're willing to work with us and not to worry about it. But we're doing our best to get them back their property.
So for people that don't know, I'm guessing, because I think I heard other people say this, in certain areas of the beach, you got different rentals, like short-term rentals, long-term rentals. And I don't know how they came up with the map of how they do that on certain streets, or if there even was some kind of plan to do that, or it just kind of turned out that way. I haven't been covering the beach that long, but David wants to know what he can do, or they can do, to approve a change in rental zoning from monthly to weekly. There are other properties on monthly roads that have a weekly zoning status.
Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, depending on what side of the fence you're on. We, back a couple of years ago, I believe it was 2014, roughly around there, is when the short-term rental ordinance was in place, which gave us a grandfather status. And if you change, we did send it up to the highest level, about, because there was some talk a couple of years back about changing in a monthly area, instead of it being from the first of the month to the end of the month, could it be the 15th through the 15th? Could it be something? And their reply to us was, if you change one word in your ordinance, one word, you will lose your grandfather status. So that won't be changing.
Okay. And that comes from the state, right? I mean, the state really doesn't want municipalities to be messing around with people's income. Is that kind of the gist of it?
Well, you know, home rule is a big thing for us down here in Southwest Florida, and to give up that home rule is a difficult thing to swallow. So to try to change something, you know, there's a quality of life issue for people that are buying on a monthly street. Some people buy on a monthly street just because it is a monthly street, and they don't want transients coming in and out every other week. So they buy there on purpose. And then there are some people that buy in a weekly rental zone because they want that weekly rental status to be able to rent it every week. So you know, it's a quality of life thing. It's a home rule thing. We did reach out to ask, because it made sense to me. 30 days is 30 days. Does it matter, in the off season, if someone wants to rent it for, July 15th to August 15th, that's considered a month? And we were told very sternly that if you change one word in your ordinance, you will lose your grandfather status.
So that was told by the state of Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
The Attorney
All right.
General.
Wow.
John sent it up to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General, I don't remember how long ago it was, but there was a response back from the Attorney General that was shared with all the council members.
Gotcha. I think this is an easy one for you. What are you going to do with the land you were going to put the exterior fitness center on Estero Boulevard?
I believe the plan is to still put the exterior fitness stuff back out there where that concrete was poured just before the storm. I have not heard of any change in plans to not do anything other than that.
All right. That's everything that has been announced at town council meetings too. I think the only thing that might be different is looking at a possible shade to cover it so people don't sweat to death while they're out there exercising. Right?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, you didn't ask this, and then we were reminded, so I'll ask it. In terms of the Jacobs Group, is that going to have any impact on the zoning department with Jason and Sarah?
Jason and Sarah will still be there. They'll still be doing what they do. They'll be working closely with Jacobs Group, just like they probably were with CGA. I don't know how long CGA is going to still be around from the other coast. Andy really hasn't said. We have a contract with them, and I don't know what the clause is to not be in that contract anymore. So I'll have to get with Frankie and Andy to figure out what their plan is with the CGA.
So let's talk about the pier. The pier came up today. Council member Woodson brought up a report from Let's Go FMB, and apparently they're all going to meet with county manager Dave Harner on Thursday. We have all this in the newsletter tomorrow, folks, and talk about the pier. And they have a study with 9,000-ish responses. That we'll also link to tomorrow in the newsletter. But Dan, from, Ray and Brian and the county commissioners and Dave Harner, I mean, what do you think they're going to do? Are they going to try and rebuild it back to the way it was so that FEMA reimburses them 100%? Or are they open to, okay, we're going to build a bigger pier, but somebody's going to have to pay that extra money because FEMA will not? So what are you hearing?
I haven't really heard anything other than they've been very steadfast in, just tell us what the beach wants. What is it that we want to see? And I think that's what they're doing. They're putting together what, through the surveys and the meetings, and they're coming up with what makes sense or what people want to see. Then you come into the cost, who's going to pay for it? FEMA's only going to cover and replace what was there. So I don't know that project's even been obligated. I haven't looked in a while to see if the pier has been obligated from FEMA to get reimbursed. So until that happens, nothing really is going to happen there. If it moves into a different spot, then there comes into FEMA doesn't pay certain things. And I mean, it's going to be an expensive repair, and who's going to pay for it and how does it get paid for? So I think we're going down the right road of trying to give the county some direction as to what it is the residents and the visitors of Lee County want to see for the pier. I think Karen said today there was over 9,000 people in Lee County, visitors and residents, that have opined on that study. So that's a pretty good chunk of people for a group that put that out. And it was interesting to see some of the responses that they came back with. Now, I didn't really see anything from what I read that said that people wanted it back exactly the way it was. But the county's willing to work with us. I think as long as we keep an open dialogue, as long as we, we're realistic, we're not coming in with something that we want that's $30-some million. I think that they're certainly willing to listen. They're certainly willing to work with us, and we just got to think outside the box. It's going to take several years to get this done, no matter what happens. But at least we're talking about it, and they're open and they're listening. So that's the first step.
So okay, let's be honest. If the county is saying, not that you're being dishonest, but I'm saying if the county is saying, tell us what you want. If you wind up telling them something that you want that's $10 million over what FEMA will reimburse you, they're not gonna come up with that money. The town doesn't have that money. Who's gonna pay for that? Well,
you've got to be realistic. It's kind of, remember when we were back talking about Bay Oaks and when we were going to develop Bay Oaks, and the direction was given, think big, put in everything you want, and then we'll scale it back from there based on what we can do. And maybe this is that same type of thing. We may not get everything. I guess what I would want to know is, are people willing to get back exactly what was there and be happy with it? Or are they adamant that they want to see something different? And it has to be something different. And if it is different, then what is it exactly they want to see? Wider, longer, more access? What are the exact things that they're looking for? If they're not okay with getting the pier back just the way it was, because I believe that's the questions that the county will be asking.
When you're talking about getting it back the way it was, though, it's got to go back.
Can't go back
It
to
can't
exactly.
go back exactly the way it was. It will have to be more resilient. It'll have to be up. It'll have to be longer. If I think that was part of it too,
Wider.
but
Does
Yeah,
FEMA
they get, you know, they,
does FEMA take that into account?
well, yeah, so FEMA gives you the money to build it back the way it was, but then there's mitigation money to make it stronger. Obviously, you got to build it back to whatever the current codes are. But if you're going to make it even stronger and more resilient, then there's another pot of money you could go after so that you don't have to replace it again should there ever be another storm. So that's a whole separate thing. And that's on for all the projects, not just the pier. That's anything the county's trying to get reimbursement for, anything the town's trying to get reimbursement for. So there's two completely separate buckets of money that you could go after, one to replace it and then one to harden it.
Do you think that the pier is a priority for the county? They've got so many projects. They've got the traffic lights are still broken. It's not like, you know, they can just focus on Fort Myers Beach or Sanibel or whatever. But although sometimes it seems like to me Sanibel gets more attention. But do you know where it fits in the priority list for them to get done?
I do not. That would be something that you'd have to ask the county commissioners and their staff. I don't know. They, like us, like Sanibel, like Cape Coral, like Fort Myers, so many people, we have so many projects that are in the works.
Yeah.
How do you prioritize what's the most important? And what may be the most important to me or to you may not be what's important to the person 2 streets down, or the person that lives in Cape Coral. Maybe the pier is not important to them. They don't want to see their tax dollars go to it. Or maybe someone in Fort Myers doesn't think the street lights are all that important because they only ride their bikes, or, you know, so there's a lot of things that go into it. But you'd have to ask them where it is on their priority list. I'm sure that they have a list like we do of all their projects. And, you know, you go and you ask for money from the state legislatures for some of these projects, and some things you get money for and some things you don't. And you build back what you can when you've got the money to do it. And then you just turn that money over and go to the next project.
We're going to pop that
Yeah,
up.
we're not going to go the whole hour because I
That
don't
one.
want you look
Yeah.
like you can use some rest. But so Michelle, the last time that we covered this, the folks, the business owners in Times Square were, it sounds like they were tasked with coming up with some kind of rendering that they would like to start with. Have you heard anything further on that?
No, I have not heard back from them yet. I know that they were, I've heard from a couple of the landowners saying that they're, you know, concerned about some of the things. So I haven't heard anything negative and I haven't heard anything positive yet.
So really, there's nothing new to report
No.
on Times Square.
Other than,
Although
you know,
they
we're
are getting nice palm trees put in.
putting those in. Yeah, I know staff is looking at trying to work on getting the infrastructure kind of put in that we were talking about doing before the storm. The issue I think that we're running into, and I don't want to speak for staff, but just looking at it at a holistic level, it looks like, what do you put in there? How do you, because remember we were talking about before the storm, putting in so that the drains could go into the drain, you know, the downspouts for each of the buildings could go into the drains. And, you know, is that going to change now? What are the buildings going to look like? How do you know, just put drain in and then have to tear it up again? Does that make sense? Working with trying to get grants for that area. So I know Jason in Public Works are working, trying to find money, just like all the other department heads are doing, trying to find grants and any other way that we can get some money for some of these projects.
I'm going to ask that.
Go ahead.
All right. So do you have a bike parade update?
Yeah. So the 16th of December, we will be starting at Rude Shrimp at 4. We'll meet there at 4 o'clock. Every year that we've done it in the past, we met at Heidi and Bruiser's house and decorated, and then it took off from there and went through Red Coconut and did all that. Obviously, that's not there anymore. So we're going to start at Rude Shrimp and kind of work our way down to Diamond Head, turn around and head back to Bayside Park. And then there we'll have Santa and Mrs. Claus and whatever cast of characters show up for that thing, and try to see if we can work out to get somebody there to play some music and and make it a fun event. Make it something that's a little bit different than we did before.
Are there are there lights at Bayside Park?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. I don't know that they will all be completely installed. I know we've been waiting for the new lights to come in from the manufacturer, but there are 2 or 3 lights that made it through the storm that actually do work once they're on a photometric cell. So as soon as it gets dark, they turn on.
Yeah, I remember the reason I know why there's lights is because that first concert that we did, it got dark, and I went over to Dan and I said, Dan, there's no lights. And as soon as I said that, the lights came on. Like he flipped the switch or snapped his fingers, and the lights there came on. It was
Like
hilarious.
magic. It's just like magic.
What the hell are you talking about? Just turn around. That's funny. There's also, I guess you're still working on lights on Old San Carlos because Peter was saying that he was talking to some folks down there. They're still waiting for lights there.
Yeah, we've got those temporary solar ones. Now we can actually turn those up a little bit. So I know I talking to Frankie last week or the week before that's on their radar to go and get those turned up. That's going to be, we've told FPL that if we can get this contract signed with them, that is our highest priority to at least get stuff around the Times Square area down Old San Carlos illuminated, even if it's with temporary lights before the holidays get here, at least Christmas and New Year's especially. They have told us if we can get them that contract as soon as possible, that they will make that a priority. We won't have the new poles that are going to go in there, but we can get temporary lights that are on the poles. The poles are already ready. We've had the electrician go out, and there's power at all the poles. It's all been verified and ready to go and tested. It's just a matter of getting the light source up on the top of it.
We miss anything, Dan? I know. I want to make sure that if you had any updates that we didn't ask about before we let you roll.
I don't know I think there was a news release that went out that obviously they changed it. The federal government changed the disaster from 75%, 25% to 90-10, which is huge for the town of Fort Myers Beach because that means that's 5% match out of the storm. A lot of that is being covered through the state or through other grants. So it's really helped us a lot. It saved us just in the sand. You're talking about the sand, Ken. That saved us about $2.2 to $2.5 million alone. So that was a big thing. We met that threshold to be able to. This storm met the threshold to be able to move it up to that 90-10. So that really helped us out a lot. Everything else, I think we've pretty much covered either today or at the meeting. But as I get more updates, I'll certainly let you know.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you doing it. Not feeling well. Thank you.
Feel better.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Thanks.
No worries at all. Dan Allers, everybody. And before we do have a couple of things to update you on, including the opening of the restaurant, Mr. Waves, Daniel Clarkson's Did I say it wrong?
It's longer than that.
It's Friday you're going to get the sweatshirt too. It's Friday at 5:00 is when we're doing a live broadcast from the location, which is, as you come down the bridge, it's right next to the ice cream store, and the Friday's the first day. Right now, all the seats are taken. We put the email address up there to reserve a seat, and they're all taken. There's a waiting list of 12 people. So if you want to get on the waiting list in case somebody drops off, and of course, people will be coming and going throughout the evening on Friday. So it opens up on Friday. It's nice to see. There you go. And nice to see a new business opening. You can't see it with the lights. Read, does it say Mr. Waves? Is that what it says?
It's Mr. Waves Island Bar.
Okay. They're going to have, obviously, food and drink. And it's going to be a great location with inside and outside seating. And that's coming up Friday this week. Also, if you missed the announcement at the beginning of the show, we are going to be moving our show from Wahoo Willie's on Saturday mornings at 11 to the License to Chill bar at Margaritaville. I want to show you the picture of where we're going to be. Right there is the License to Chill bar. They open for breakfast at 7:00. The show is going to be backed up to 10:00. The bar for adult beverages or sodas or water opens at 9:00. And of course, that area is completely open to the public. That
beautiful backdrop.
The backdrop right there is the Gulf of Mexico. So the people that are watching on the Facebook and YouTube, we'll be able to see the Gulf of Mexico in the back. And the other announcement was that the Mondays with the Mayor show will be called Sunday Brunch with the Mayor, and it will be live instead of remotely like this. And that will be moved to Wahoo Willie's. So it's nice to have
So we're
both
not leaving
locations. No, shuffling things around. And I just want to say that the how the Margaritaville destination came about. You guys, many of you will probably remember that our home for 5 years was Pete's Time Out in Times Square. And if Pete's was still there, we would still be there because because John and Debbie gave us a shot to do a show where back when we didn't have anybody following us, or we were just testing it out to see what it was. And John said, I think you have something here. And we would never have left him because he gave us the first shot. And and because, so what happened was when Pete's and Times Square was destroyed, Tom Torgerson said, you'll have a place. When we open, you're going to have a place. Because back then, you might remember, we were doing the show in Times Square in the rubble. We were doing the show at the base of the bridge. We did it right by the ice cream place. I said it wrong. I said cold. Is it Stone Cold or Cold Stone? Stone. We did it right in front of there.
Steve Austin.
Yeah, I know. I typed it in.
Creamery.
I typed it in, Cold Stone's Creamery, and Mattel, who owns the place, saw it, and he said, "Listen, that's a wrestler. That's not the ice cream place. Can you fix it?" We were also at the other side of the bridge where we broadcast. So Tom said, "Listen, when we open, you're going to have a spot," and I said, "That's going to be great." And so that's what the plan always was. In the meantime, we met up with Peter, and he said, "Why don't you guys come and do it over at Wahoo Willie's?" And you have to remember that we had no idea that the show was going to become what it has become. We're grateful to all of you folks out there, and it means so much. And it's not an awful position to be in, where we were able to do 2 shows from 2 great places on Fort Myers Beach with great folks, all of them. I mean, it's going to be an amazing thing. And if people still want to come to Wahoo Willie's, they can come on Sunday at 11 o'clock. We're not changing the time. And Saturdays will be at 10.
You could come both days.
Or you can come both days. Yeah, it'd be great. And there's also at the top of that Sunset Terrace, there's the coffee shop that opens at 6 o'clock. So if you want coffee first, and obviously that's going to be a great place to see the sunset now that the pier is no longer there, because it's a great shot just right over to where the sun is setting. And they really did a nice job with that whole terrace up there. I got a sneak peek of it last week, but everybody's going to get a sneak peek this Saturday because Tom's giving us a walk around. It's not going to be live on Facebook because I don't want to screw up the sound on this one. I don't really mind if I'm screwing up the sound when I'm walking on the beach or something like that and it's too windy. But this one, we're going to have wireless mics. We're going to record it, and then I'm going to upload it right before the show. So you won't be able to comment live on Facebook, but you can comment afterward. We're going to get a full tour of the inside and the outside and the rooms, and then we're going to upload it. It's probably going to be at least an hour because Tom likes to show off that facility, and I totally understand why. Right. We're hoping to have it done by 10.
And I'll be interested if people could chime in when they watch it, if they like it better live where they can comment, or if how they like to kind of pre-record it and then upload it thing. Cause I'll just be interested to see that. And I want to thank everybody that we ran into on Sunday down at Wahoo Willie's, because we were just down there to watch the game, and there was they were really busy, which was great for them. Yep. But there was a lot of people that were, can I have a shirt? Can I have this? And, we just happened to be there hanging out, but it was nice to have hello, Cookie. It was nice to relax and hang out and meet some other new people.
Great. It was we spoke to so many people that are in town. It's nice to see people coming down and letting us know where they stay, where they're staying, and how long they're going to be there. And Saturdays and Sundays, this Sunday is a huge day on Fort Myers Beach. We're doing the Historical Society cleanup from 8 to noon. And by the way, thanks to Wahoo Willie's, if anybody wants to go over to Wahoo Willie's after the cleanup and buy lunch, they get a free drink. just because you're coming,
nice.
just because you come down and help us clean up. And then later on in the day, back at Bayside Park is the concert, the second concert series that the town and the chamber are
Right.
putting on. So we're going to have our tent set up at that event. So it's going to be a full day. It's a full weekend on Fort Myers Beach this weekend. And it's so great to
And
see
the
Friday night show and the Saturday morning show. And then the Paradise Tattoo opens up on their official grand opening is Saturday, but that, that's a bit off the beach. So they're having a big grand opening celebration. A lot of ribbon being cut down there, which is kind of nice.
message from one of our listeners who has an extra ticket. And
Oh yes, I told him to text you because you were the matchmaker. I said you're asking the wrong person
extra ticket. Like to take a
for
date.
Friday night.
Like,
You're the one that
with
said
that.
on the show that you were an official matchmaker, that you wanted to match Ben Duval up with somebody because you say he's got commitment issues or something. But so I told him to call you. Yeah. Like you ever offend anybody.
Look,
What?
Santiago, Chile.
Very nice. John, you got to send us your shirt on out in some wilderness or wildlife over there. So
Sonia, please take a picture.
So before we get to the black sweatshirt that you were at the printer talking about, that we want to let everybody know about. Wait, it was Keith. Who did he find? Did he share with you who he found? Power Block Builders, folks. If you're building a house, please give Power Block a call. Give them an opportunity to help you out because they have over 35 years of experience. And the youngest brother, Kellen, is a field superintendent for Power Block, with Oscar Sr. being the mason and Oscar Jr., the licensed general contractor. Give Power Block Builders a call because there are three of them are sitting out in their car right now waiting for you to call them on their cell phones. And it's 239-849-1919. They have over 7 beach models. That's right, 7 beach models. Go to powerblockbuilders.com right now and look it up. Look up one of their beach models because you want a beach model. Don't we all want a beach model? Oh, I already have one. 239-849-1919. Now you're not paying attention to me, so.
Dude, it just was so obtuse. Oh, John, he forgot to bring it. Well, just please take some pictures.
Yes.
I would love to see some pictures, especially.
Jorge Barrera is your real estate agent with Premier Plus Realty. You know, Jorge is just a simply family man who loves Fort Myers Beach, and he's got 5-star Zillow reviews. And here's one. Jorge went above and beyond to help us find the perfect beach house. He was always able to accommodate our limited time windows. He was extremely quick and thorough when writing our contracts and submitting offers. It didn't matter the day or time. Jorge was always available. You should give Jorge a call now because he's sitting in his car waiting for you to call him on his cell phone. 239-791-9893. That's 239-791-9893.
You're getting a lot of good comments about
my beach model.
Yeah.
You are my beach model.
That took me a minute. You never say stuff like that. So I was like, we don't have a model home down there.
All right. What are we working on?
So
you with Angie?
Yeah, I don't know if you encouraged me to show it, but it's really not ready. So there's going to be a lot of changes to this, but it is black. I know that the picture that he took it in the sun, and so, well, thank you, Rhonda. He took it in the sun, so it looked gray, but it is black. And so it's going to have.
Is it teal? Is it a teal logo?
Well, you gotta mirror this so I can do it. It's gonna have the teal here.
Okay, cool.
And it's a different, you can see it's different than that. That's more blue. This is teal. And then this is gonna be gray or silver. It's actually gonna be, and then this is gonna be a little bit bigger so you can see the website. And then on the sleeve, it's not gonna be this blue because it didn't match. It's gonna be silver and thicker.
We got the better font, which we got the bigger font like this, so you can see Fort Myers Beach, Florida, much bigger.
But it's going to be in metallic silver, so
cool.
We're looking forward to that. I think it's going to be looking really good. And then I talked to her about one other idea, but I have to go someplace else for it. She doesn't do them.
And I ordered a beanie, which I was hoping to be ready for tonight.
Cloth beanie?
A winter beanie with our logo on it. Yeah. So she's mocking it
you're
up
being-
for me, and I'll listen.
Mark you in it.
Here's the other thing.
Why are
this
you
is
so-
becoming a product placement kind of thing. But yesterday, check this out. I ordered rain jackets for us.
It's a
a
windbreaker.
I ordered it. It's got the logo on the front in teal. You might notice it's bright yellow. Well, yesterday it was a little bit chilly, so I decided I was going to ride the bike with it on, because you also, when you ride the bike, you want to be bright. You want people to be able to see you. Of course, on the back, it's got, the big black letters so everybody could see. And people loved it when we were at the
I did
beach
have
on
to say it
Sunday.
is
They
nice
loved
quality.
it. It is a great quality windbreaker. And so I don't know if we'll be selling that, though. So, some things you just have to have for yourself,
I
right?
know. And then someone asked me about the quarter zip
Hoodies?
pullovers. Yeah, like the thin ones. And she had some of those there. So we'll have to see. We got to.
It's got to be good quality. That's the
Yeah.
thing. These
Well, they are-
shirts are great quality, just like the
These-
t-shirts.
This is a different. This is Gildan. This is thicker.
Yeah.
These are thicker. But anyways, we are going to be putting some of our other stuff on sale, like the mugs, because we got to clear out some of this inventory. You're a little heavy.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that we were putting things on sale.
Yeah, we're going to start having some sales because we're going to get new stuff in every year.
Yeah, like you
color.
were ever behind wanting us to get any stuff. I was shocked that you actually
Oh, I want us to
finish the
get it,
hoodie.
not in the
not pay for it.
volume.
You don't want us to pay for it. You just want us to sell it. So the last thing about the merchandise is the clock T-shirts. Now we're trying to get the teal and the turquoise, or one or the other, so it's not just the yellow. So Angie was working on that too, and she's going to have a couple of mock-up shirts for us to look at.
I thought
you
you
know,
said it.
The question, well, the
Yeah.
question always is it going to be a good quality shirt? Like these yellow shirts are excellent quality, and I don't want a cheap T-shirt. I don't want people to, we can get 500 shirts for $100 on some website, but I don't want it to be a shirt where people wear it and then they wash it once and then it's crap. So we're working on it. Yeah, we're working on it. So anyway, that's enough for tonight, unless you have anything you want to add. Great job tonight, dear. You did a great job, my beach model friend.
Okay.
We will see you all Friday night. Actually, I'll be on the beach Thursday at Wahoo Willie's for the Chamber Luncheon. They're hosting the Chamber Luncheon on Thursday. Then on Friday, we'll be at Mr. Waves Island Sand and Bar, or Mr. Waves Island Bar. Then Saturday at Wahoo Willie's, and Sunday at the Historical Society.
I don't think I'm going to ride on Sunday.
Oh, you're going to participate in the cleanup? Very nice.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
don't know.
Thank you all for tuning in. Nice big audience tonight. Thanks to the mayor for joining us a little under the weather. We hope he feels better.
There's a lot going on.
And you guys have a great night. The newsletter will be out at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Rhonda's got it.
Thanks, Rhonda.